For the Republic. Oh, greetings, y'all, greetings. Ooh, it gets warm in that. Just shooting some videos in the armor. Thought I'd come out here and do a little Q&A. So if y'all have any questions about my Clone Trooper armor, what goes into it, what it's made out of, how I built it, where I keep it, how it feels, what's the movement like, any questions, that's what I'm here for. So this is a vacuum formed ABS plastic kit. I got this kit from 850 Armor Works. It's a company out of Pensacola, Florida. Look them up. Very good stuff. Clones, stormtroopers, Mandos. They do some Fallout stuff. They do some Halo stuff. They do a whole lot of stuff. Check them out. They've got great products. But this armor is from that. This helmet is from Chris the Prop Guy. Young dude out of Australia. They make some really good helmets and such. But yeah. Figured I'd get on here and see if anybody has questions about my Clone Trooper armor, how it goes on. Let me know. At the end of this, I will actually unsuit, so I will take the armor off and you'll kind of see how it all straps together, what goes into it. But yeah, this thing, I built this about 2 years ago. It is a 501st approved kit. Took me about probably 2 months to build it, 3 months. I've built several since then. I built a Cody for myself, and then I've done, I think, 4 or 5 commission builds. And I've gotten it down to about 6 weeks to build the whole set. It does take a while. There's just a whole lot of work involved in it. But yeah, very pleased with this. I feel like out of all of the make-believe armors that are out there, I just feel like this is the coolest. The Halo armor looks cool. This armor just looks really cool. So very, very happy with how this turned out. So yeah. I do full commissions. Like I said, I've built several clones for other folks. I'd be willing to tackle other armors, but I'm just very, very versed and experienced with clones. So, you know, I like that. I like doing them. I'd be very comfortable with them. I'm currently building an Imperial Stormtrooper, a Rogue One Stormtrooper, so I'm starting to learn a little bit about those as well. Also, I have my other helmet. So this armor is actually 2 approvals. I got the 501st, and then I also got the 332nd. So it's a helmet swap and a back plate swap. The back plate is blue on this one. You swap the back plate for a white one, and you have that. Awesome. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, man. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. These things are, you know, and that's the Purge Trooper is kind of a glossy clone. So I know at some point you're probably going to have to touch up the abs where there's going to be some scraping and stuff on it. But man, that was a fun build too. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Working on Rogue One Stormtrooper right now. So kind of psyched about that, going the Imperial route. I guess these were early Imperial, but I like to think of them as for the Republic. So yeah. This helmet is Galactic Armory. Just as a 3D printed one. Much lighter than the resin one that Chris the Prop Guy did, but interchangeable. Interchangeable. All right, so do y'all want to see kind of how this all goes together? How it sticks on. Let me pop the helmet on one last time for y'all to give you the full view. 360. Haha. There we go. All right. So there's not a whole lot of strapping or harnessing that is really involved in this kit. And I'll kind of show it to you as we go along. But the gloves, these are Nomex flight gloves. So it's a long flight glove, and then the hand armor is just Velcroed on there. Nomex flight gloves, and you really just need black gloves for this, but I like these. They've lasted quite a long time, and they're very, very comfortable. So gloves, and the hand armor just sits on there. So for my forearms, I've got just a little piece of upholstery foam in there that basically just holds it in place, you know? And it literally just sits right on the handpiece, both sides. So elbows and knees are very similar. So it's got the fake armor strap that's just a piece of rubber. It's on the outside, and then it's elastic that just basically holds that in place. And there are actual left and right elbows. These two little slashes that are here, these need to be on the outside. So this is the left elbow and the right elbow with the two little slashes on it. So they look the same, but they're actually different pieces. All right, so when we get up to this part here, I'll clip this and show you what we got going on. So on my neck seal, I've got elastic and a clip. And then that corresponds to a clip that I have here, little elastic that holds the shoulder gun on. So that clips up to the shoulder, and then that is already strapped. The bicep is already strapped to it. So this is all kind of one piece that sits right like that, all strapped to the neck seal. One side's always harder to get than the other. And yes, I can get this armor on and off by myself, which impresses most other clones. Not a lot of people can get these on by themselves. So that's the other one. Again, all kind of hung together. And that's the strapping for the arms. Very simple. This piece here, so people go different routes with the chest back. The CRL, which is the costume requirement list, calls for just a visible seam on this piece. Most people make this a clamshell that opens up and closes so they can kind of take it and just slip it on over. And then it's like Velcroed on the inside. I saw no need to do that. I just made it to where it fits snugly over the abs, and it just slides down and sits on top. Very light. This is ABS plastic, so it is not heavy. Very, very light armor. All right. Then we get into this middle portion here. And before I can do anything on the legs, I've got to take the cod piece out because I can't bend over if the cod's in there. But the cod has two pieces of Velcro here that Velcro underneath the armor. And then there's a snap and Velcro on the side that corresponds to a snap that's right there and some Velcro underneath. So it snaps to the butt piece on either side and Velcro's underneath there. It allows for a little bit of movement all around. And then the back piece, the butt piece, is also Velcroed in the same way. There's Velcro straps on the back that attach to the back. This, the abs and the belt, this is all one piece. I used to have the belt Velcroed on here, but I've since glued it. There's no reason to have it separate. So this is all one solid piece here. Neck seal is from Dark Side Closet. And again, I've just got these elastic straps, clips, glued underneath. Very simple process. All right, let's get some of these legs off. All right, so the shoes, these are from a company called Keep Trooping. And these are their clone boots. You order them, they will custom make them for you. Clone boots. And I've added extra Velcro, so I added extra Velcro on the front here, and then I added some snaps there just to help it hold better. Clone shoes. All right, this next piece, this is the part that most people probably fear the most. Take this balaclava off. That most people probably fear the most about a clone trooper build. So when they built the clones for the movies, they were all computer generated. They did not have one piece of physical armor associated with it. So the first actual clone armor was built by the 501st Legion members, the costuming group, which is pretty cool to me. So when you look at the clone armor, this is all one solid piece. And unless you are like double jointed on your ankle, there's no way you can get your foot through there. So we create a shin spoon system. So that pops out. You can slide your foot in and then slide this back up, and it attaches to clips. One here, one there, and then there's one underneath there. So you put that on, slide that up into place, and it clips in and becomes one solid piece. Shin spoon. And then that also has some foam on there just to keep it in place and keep it from moving around. That's the only strapping or harnessing that you have for the bottom. Your knees are identical to the elbows. So how much did this cost? It's kind of a multi-layered thing. The armor kit itself is about $800, and that's just for the kit that you're going to have to cut and put together yourself. Undersuit's going to run you about $20 to $50. Neck seal's another $50. Boots are about $150. Gloves about $20. All told, I think I spent about $1,500 to build this myself, because you also have a helmet that you're going to have to buy. It's going to run you $100 to $150. All the paint and supplies, all of that. So it probably cost me about $1,500. I do full commissions, but you can tack at least another $1,000 on for that, just to pay me to do what it is that we do. But yeah, I got this from 850 Armor Works. 850 Armor Works, they're here. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them. Just go to the interwebs, 850armorworks.com, and you can see all the kits they have. They do full commissions as well. It's a long line for their full commissions. I think it takes about a year wait for that. But yeah, if you are interested in one, I've got full build videos here on my YouTube that'll walk you through exactly how to do it. It's not difficult. It does take a little bit of skill, a little bit of time, but I learned everything that I needed to know to do this from basically building my first suit. So I encourage people to, try to do it yourself, because as you're building it, you're going to learn what you need to do to fix this and repair this, which inevitably things break, so you're going to have to do some repairs along the way. So I encourage people to try to build these themselves. What's up, Ike? Welcome back, sir. Welcome back again. So knees, again, just a little piece of elastic that holds that in place, and they just slide right up. Get the other side off. And these are the same, just the other side, same. Shin spoon. And a knee. And then really the only piece of harnessing, if you will, the only piece of harnessing on the bottom part is going to be this belt that holds the thighs up. So thighs just have a strap on the side there, and this belt literally holds these two up, and that's really the only kind of harnessing that's involved in the bottom half. And then the top here, these are just some suspenders that I created out of straps. A lot of people use suspenders, but I didn't feel like that was necessary. And then this thing just, pulls up like a big girdle over top, and that is all one piece. And this is probably the heaviest piece of the armor, simply because of the belt. The belt is rubber on there. That's the. What's up, Doug Riggs? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Yeah, a lot of work goes into these. And again, the butt just Velcros on on the inside there. A lot of work goes into these. It's a good 6 to 8 week investment of your time to build this. If it's your first build, know that it's going to take even longer than that because you're going to kind of learn as you go, but very rewarding. And then you get this. How much does it all weigh? I'd have to put it on a scale. Most of these are not heavy at all. This is probably 3 pounds, maybe 3 pounds. I would say all together, probably 20 pounds. And that's primarily that belt. This rubber belt is heavier than the rest of the armor combined. That's just how it is. But yeah, it's not heavy. A 3D printed set of armor would probably weigh twice as much. So I would highly recommend, and you're really not going to save a whole lot of money printing it out compared to, you probably spend $500 printing out a set of armor, whereas you could buy the ABS kit for $800. So, you'll save some money, but ultimately, the amount of finishing you have to do on a 3D print, it's kind of like, do you want to save money or do you want to save your time? One or the other, because you can't have both. So, getting ready to start a Rogue One Stormtrooper build. I'm working on the helmet right now. I've got the armor kit in the garage, so that will be my primary focus running forward. So, follow along with me. I think it'll be fun. Anyway, I'm going to head, eat some lunch, probably go play some video games. So, thank you for being here. As always, I'm Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews. Oh, wait. Several times. Yeah, so the hockey games are my favorite, simply because you're in a hockey arena and it's cold as shit in there, so there's no sweat, there's no nothing like that. But the big sporting events are a lot of fun because they're always Star Wars themed. But for me, Comic-Cons are a blast because you're there with like people. But anytime we've got kids that are having a whole lot of fun there, that's why I do this. I like to make kids smile and play dress up. So any of the events where we've had those really good interactions with kids, but I haven't had a bad event yet. I get to go dress up and walk around in public as a clone trooper and not be ostracized. So that's fun for me. That's fun for me. So stay tuned. I may go live playing some games later. If y'all want to join me, by all means join me. But I'm going to go eat something right now. Y'all have fun. Thanks, Ike. Talk to you later, man.